on to today's video. We're doing a four-wheel drive tour from Rainbow Beach. So we're heading down all the way past Rainbow Beach and then we're crossing over, is it Leisure track, and going down the Cooloola Beach, I think, to Freshwater. So today we're going to show you what the four-wheel drive tracks are like, going past the sand blow and the coloured sands, and we'll see how we're going to check out the lighthouse at Double Island Point and everything. So it should be a good day. So I hope you enjoy it, guys. We are starting our four-wheel drive tour today from Rainbow Beach entry parking spot, which is located at the end of Griffin Esplanade. There is a small park here with some toilets, walking beach access, and even where you'll find the rainbow stairs. And of course, room for you to park your car and put your tyres down. This is on the northern side of Rainbow Beach Central Business District. The entry is easy and you'll be able to drive to the right, as the left side is walking beach only. What's most important about gaining access to the beach in this section is taking a look at the tide times and only driving around low tide or coming into a low tide. Due to weather, winds or swells, or even low tide, you might find access a little hard, and this is what we encountered a few days earlier when we were supposed to do this tour. Quite often you'll see cars accessing the beach and then park up on the edges until it's safer to go further down. This means you'll need to time out your day's activities and take into account some of the sections and ensure you don't get stuck. Believe me that there are cars every month that get stuck with the obstructions in the sand and get caught out with the tides. Today, we actually didn't enter the beach until 10:30 a.m. and the low tide was around midday. This means we still had a couple of hours to get around to Double Island Point, which was heaps of time. This first section you drive on will have a few points for people traffic walking down from Rainbow Beach, so keep an eye out and go slow. Just to explain our four-wheel drive tour and the route that we'll be taking today, we're starting from Rainbow Beach, driving all the way along the beach, past the coloured sands and on to Double Island Point. After that, we'll take the Leisure inland track to Tiwa Beach and drive up to the start of the Lighthouse Walk. After completing the walk, we'll continue back down Tiwa Beach and turn into Freshwater Road, past the campgrounds and come back to the highway to Rainbow Beach and home again. One of the hardest sections to get through is what they call Mudlo Rocks. They've been known to capture many inexperienced four-wheel drivers over the years and lost their vehicles with the ocean tides. What's even worse is the daily weather and tides can change in this section and making it harder or easier to get through. Therefore, what you see today isn't exactly what you're going to be seeing on the day you visit. As the name suggests, there are hundreds of rocks inconsistently positioned in the sand. Some are small, some are large, of course. The best way to get a handle of what you're in for is to stop and park the car in a safe position. This way you can navigate your way around the rocks that have shown up on today, while also not trying to submerge your car too much. To give you some perspective, you could show up a couple of days later and find more sand has been moved from the tide and heaps more rock showing up. On the other side, more sand has been brought in from the waves and making it easier. Who really knows what you're going to find? As we're a little early before low tide, Matt knew the way that he wanted to go but decided to wait for the tide to go down just a little bit. Although we waited, others still went through. After a while, Matt jumped in the car and set off through the rocks. Well, 3 cheers for Matt, he made it through that section. You'll be driving past the Carlos sand blow first, although you won't notice it too much from the ground. Sections will have more clean sand on the hills than others. I'll take you to Carlos Sandblow in the upcoming Rainbow Beach travel guide video and the things to do there, so stay tuned for that. The coloured sands or the cliff faces of the beach are what draws many visitors to Rainbow Beach, especially the four-wheel drivers. The water is stirred up from the recent rains, but with the bright sunny sky, the coloured sands really do have you in awe. If you're really keen, you can actually walk to the coloured sands, but do watch out for the cars. Walk as far as you can to Double Island Point before retracing your steps to get back to Rainbow Beach. The Cooloola Great Walk is what I mentioned in last week's video and starts at Carlo Sandblow and walks sections close to the top of these cliffs. If you want to take a different perspective, you can miss the Sandblow and walk the beach instead to complete the 155-kilometre walk to Noosa. Over thousands of years, iron-rich minerals have stained the sand with colours of yellow, brown and red. This is all mixed in with the white sand, which has been extracted from all nutrients. Wind and rain are constantly changing or resulting in these cliffs being known as natural art galleries. They stretch all the way to Double Island Point, so there's many different spots you could stop at to be by yourself. You could pitch your awning up and go for a swim, but I would keep an eye out on the tides and make sure that you can still get out. You can see from some of these videos that there isn't that much room to move around, and we were close to low tide. However you experience, it is your biggest drawcard to the area, and for me, a photographer's dream. Don't forget to keep a lookout and watch out for the obstructions along the way. We came to our next obstruction, which was something we weren't expecting. As you can see here, someone had already misinterpreted their access and the sands have claimed their vehicle. Not sure how long it had been there, but it's upside down now and all rusted out. People will try several things to get through, and as we were at the lowest tide, the waves weren't going to do that much of receding more. We waited here for 30 minutes and watched several people drive their vehicles through the waters and timed it as the waves were at their lowest. Others actually got a manual hacksaw and tried their best to pave an inland track over more rocks. Some of the branches of the trees were too big for a manual saw, so it wasn't the easiest, but I did end up seeing these guys down at Double Island Point later, so they must have got through that way. Your third option would be backtrack the way you came and take the inland route. This doesn't require knowing the tides, although it will take you longer to get around. I guess this is sometimes the safest way with the tides. Now, Double Island Point is a coastal headland along the Queensland coast and a spot many will visit for fishing, surfing, swimming, or just getting away from the hustle and bustle of city life. This will also be a day trip stop-off point for people staying in the national park camping spots like Tiwa Beach or even driving up for Noosa. This is all still part of the Great Sandy National Park, which is what we saw last week's video at Poona Lake, as well as K'gari or Fraser Island from the week before. The views here will also differ with the tides, and the point could be completely covered during high tide, whereas low tide much more of the sandbar will appear. And today was just used as a late lunch stop-off for us.
So here's Double Island Point, and this is our lunch stop for the day. And how's that view?
We sat around admiring the views and checking out the people learning to surf. It actually looked like a lot of fun, and maybe I should give it a go next time. The sand was drier in this section and thicker and softer to drive on. There were many different creeks and streams to get around, but easy to manoeuvre onto the Leisure Track, which was our inland access point to Tiwa Beach. The Leisure Track is only 900 metres long, but your quickest way to get from Double Island Point over to Tiwa Beach and the Lighthouse Walk. Both the entrance and the exits are fitted with mats to help with traction and reduce erosion damage. The track itself is a bit rough, but easy enough, and it'll only take you about 5 minutes to get through. Before you know it, you've made it into Tiwa Beach. We started by heading to the left and going back to the other side of Double Island Point. This is where the start of the Lighthouse Walk is.
So we've made it through to the other side, and this is the Cooloola coast. So this beach actually heads all the way to Noosa, but what we're going to do is have a quick stop off and do the hike up to the lighthouse. So it's only a 1 kilometre uphill hike, so yeah, it shouldn't take too long.
The Lighthouse Walk is only 2.2 kilometres return, back and returning on the same track. It only took us about 20 minutes to get there, but it was all uphill, so a bit of a heart starter. The track was nicely formed and we found it easy enough to walk in thongs. Apart from the lighthouse, you just can't beat those views, and look down Tiwa Beach. On a clear day, you can see Rainbow Beach, Fraser Island, and even Noosa in the distance. The lighthouse itself was built in 1884. It's pretty small and made of metal cladding on a timber frame. You have a few information boards around to read about the history and take in the 360-degree views. We only stayed up there for about 5 minutes and then about 15 minutes to get back down to the beach.
So next we're going to jump back into the car and we're heading further down Tiwa Beach until we get to the Freshwater campground, and then we're going to circle back into Rainbow Beach. So let's check out the roads and see what they're like.
There was hardly a soul around, but often people will just find a spot on their own for swimming, fishing, or just lazing on the beach. It's also a great spot just to go for a drive. The water was a little cleaner here today, but after heavy rains you can expect it to be a little stirred up sometimes. This is when you can just sit back and admire the beauty that Queensland coast has to offer. After about 20 minutes, we finally made it down to Freshwater Road and passed by one of the National Park campgrounds. This track is very soft sand with lots of bumps and holes, and will take you some time to actually get through, especially if you run into other cars going the opposite way. Most of the track is single lane, so you'll have to stop and move into a better position for a passing car. All up, it took us about 30 minutes to get through on the 15 kilometres of dirt track. But it is an experience to see more of the Great Sandy National Park and the rainforest growing in sand. We even passed by the Buy Me In car park, which was featured in last week's video on Poona Lake. Before too long, we made it back to the highway and only 4 kilometres left to get back to Rainbow Beach. If you want to check out other things to see and do around Rainbow Beach, then please click here for my other videos on Fraser Island and the Poona Lake hike. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.